Winners of 5 in a row, 9 of their last 10. And joining us, part of that UCLA baseball team that is on the upward ascent, is Roch Cholowsky. He joins us on the Bruin Insider Show. For Nick Koop, I'm Bryan Fenley. Roch, thanks so much for being a part of this.
Thank you for having me.
How does that personality come out, that big personality you have in the dugout during games?
You know, I just want to win, and having guys around me that want the same thing lets me be myself. And, you know, it's a really special thing we got going this year.
Yeah, how confident is this team right now? It looks like you guys are just humming right along at the moment.
You know, from the first week on, you know, the confidence has definitely gone up. We've seen that we can play with anybody, and, you know, just the come from behind wins too, you know, feed the confidence. So it's been good.
A lot of confidence after all those wins over the weekend against Nebraska, and you had a home run on Sunday. How long before you start running the bases do you admire a home run when it's in the air?
I mean, try not too long. I usually black out after I get a big one, so you know I don't really know how long I'm looking at it until after the game when I get to watch film. But I try not to stay in there too long.
So you've had 15 in a Bruin uniform. Do you have a favorite so far?
The favorite was probably against SC a couple weeks ago. Yeah. You know, nothing better than beating those guys. So getting those two, the first one was definitely probably the biggest one, or the Maryland one. You know, I've never felt something like that. So definitely those two this year have been the best.
Mentally, when you're in the batter's box, what is going through your head?
You know, I just try and be as loose as possible, make the game easier than it is. I mean, it's a really hard game. It's really hard to hit a baseball. So, you know, just trying to go up there loose and, you know, just trying to have fun with it is, you know, just all I try and do.
What's the difference for you, freshman to sophomore year? And maybe it's not just you, but all of you guys as sophomores came in as a big-time recruiting class. How much more confident, how much easier is it year 2 versus year 1 for all you guys?
You know, the experience does a lot. Getting to play in 52 games last year, just kind of getting to run through the trial and error and the experience of that has been huge, you know, just to hit the ground running year 2. So, I mean, I think everyone experienced it last year. We had a few freshmen that got to play almost every day last year, and, you know, guys got some taste. So just getting through the fall and, you know, hitting the ground running once the season starts has been big.
What's different from last year is that you're in a new conference. You're obviously doing a lot more traveling now. The component or the opponents that you're playing still extremely high level, but what's different about just the way in which you're going about your business, getting ready for a series, Pac-12-wise, prepared in terms of how that is in relation to the Big Ten?
You know, we're in a new conference, so we just want to prove ourselves. You know, the Big Ten's a really good baseball conference. They've had some good teams, and they do have good teams year in, year out. So, you know, just being the newcomers and trying to set the standard for who we are and who we're going to be for the years to come is, you know, just something that we look forward to.
You brought up the come-from-behind wins. 16 wins on the season. 10 of them you guys have trailed and come back and won. What does it say about you guys that you've been able to do that consistently?
We're never out of a ball game. I mean, we have the talent, we have the confidence, and, you know, we have the right guys in the dugout to, you know, stick with it. I mean, 9 innings is a long game. So, you know, just staying with it for those all 9 innings and, you know, staying with it, trying to just feed and get back into the game has been big for us.
When you think of all the Bruin greats, the alums that have gone on to do great things at the big leagues, when you start to think about one day that potentially being you, how does that galvanize you when you see so many people within that program that have done great things and that you could be going in that direction as well?
You know, it's a really rich program. There's definitely a lot of guys that came out of here that have went on to do great things. And, you know, just trying to be a part of it and, you know, doing what I can while I'm here, and hopefully it pays off in the end. But, you know, just trying to join that brotherhood.
So who are some of your favorite shortstops you were looking at growing up?
Brandon Crawford's my favorite baseball player.
All right, perfect. UCLA.
You know, came here. I try and model my defensive game after him. Love watching Chase Utley, too. Just 2 really good Bruins to take after. So,
Roch Cholowsky joining us on the Bruin Insider Show. Stand out for the baseball team. For Nick Koop, I'm Bryan Fenley. The camaraderie that you have with your fellow sophomores, not only do you have for the upperclassmen, but what is the vibe like in terms of the guys that you've joined the program with, that class? How do you guys get along, and what is that like, even outside of the baseball field and what you're doing there?
You know, it started before we got to school. We had a group chat for 2-3 years, and we were just continuously adding the guys who committed and, you know, joined the program, just trying to get together before we got to school so we could hit the ground running when we got here. But, I mean, last year living in the dorms with all 15 of the freshmen was, you know, some of the most fun that I've had. Something that I wish I could go back and do again. But, you know, just the brotherhood has been really good. This year it's definitely changed too. It's not just our now sophomore class that's really tight. It's kind of expanded to the whole team. Whereas there's guys this year on the team who I'm super close with that I barely spoke to last year. So, just like kind of turn it into a brotherhood and more of a team has been big for us, on and off the field.
So with all that in mind, what's the potential of this team, you think?
I mean, I don't see us – I see our ceiling being Omaha and, winning a World Series. We got the guys and we got the coaches and, we got the confidence to do it. So, just sticking with it every day and getting done what we can.
That head coach, John Savage, obviously over the course of his career coaching at UCLA has done a lot of winning. Storytelling from him in terms of years past and the greats that have gone through that program and where they've led the program to getting to that natty and all of that. How often do you find that he's using stories of the past, of years in the past, program-wise, to kind of levy on you as if to say, hey, this is possible for you too?
Yeah, he talks a lot about that 2019 team. They were one of the greatest teams to ever come through. They won 40-plus games, didn't lose a weekend at home, and they didn't make it to the World Series. So just talking about going through the season, the things that you have to do, it's hard to get there. You can be a 40-something win team and still not make it there. So same with the 2013 team. He said there wasn't really one guy that he can remember that did it all. All he remembers is that the team was really good and that they made it and they got it done. So it's not one person. He tries to preach this that it's a team thing.
Before you got here to UCLA, you played football, played quarterback. How did that help you on the diamond, if at all?
Leadership for sure. Football is a whole different animal. You got to have all 11 guys on the same page or else the play's not going to work. So, the leadership aspect for sure. And then I believe that defensively it helped my footwork, playing quarterback. Just kind of the hand-eye coordination too is carried over.
You've got origins in football. You also have origins in golf. What's the difference in terms of standing over a tee ball on one, beginning an 18-hole round, and you standing in the batter's box against, say, Nebraska last weekend where you're ready to hit that solo home run?
A lot less stressful. I love going out and golfing. I got some friends back home who have, helped me increase my golf game. I'm still not, I wouldn't say good by any means. Couldn't stick around with those guys. But, I really do enjoy getting off the baseball field and doing other things.
So your father, Dan, grinded in the minor leagues. He's a scout. How did he help shape you as a person and as a ball player?
Just growing up, he kind of let me do my own thing, play as many sports as I could. Just have fun with it while I was young. He didn't want me to specialize in just baseball. It was always play whatever you want, and then when the time comes, you got to pick one. Go ahead and pick one. But just having him in my corner has been huge. He's one of my biggest supporters, him, my mom, my sister. But he always wants the best for me, and he's always steered me in the right direction. So having him there has been great.
Would you categorize what you're wearing hair-wise as a mullet? Would you consider that? And if so, what is it about that being in style right now? Not just baseball, because we're clearly seeing it, but even if you're outside of baseball, it seems to be in.
I started wearing it in middle school. The first time I got it, didn't really like it. You can ask my dad about that one. I didn't want to go to school for a couple days. But sticking with it, it's clean in the hat, a little bit in the back. So not too messy, but, I've been rocking it for a little bit.
Yeah, as a ball player, it's it's subtle. So, all right, so I got to ask about the celebration. I've seen Mulavai break out I'm calling it the flamingo while you're making a heart over your head. What's the significance? What's the origin there?
So about a week before the season started, we had this kid named Gothro who he would show up to practices and just sit and watch. He's from Japan. He's been in the States now for about 6 or 7 weeks, I want to say, just exploring. And he took a 2-week stop in L.A. Big baseball fan, so he came and would watch our practices. One day he walked up to Coach and asked to try out. And instead of Coach letting him try out, he let him shag. And we let him in the clubhouse for 5-6 days before opening day. Just taught us a bunch of culture, some signals, some signs. So, he told us it's a sign of saying I love you. And we thought it was pretty funny when he did it. So, we just kind of adopted that as our double celly. He was with us for the first week and a half of the season. And, we kind of thought of him as our good luck charm. Came out of nowhere, came and, brought some energy. So we're just sticking with that.
That's awesome.
The love that obviously he has for the sport, you certainly have a lot of love for baseball. How does that come out in terms of you being this perennial, eternal student of the game, where even as you grow in your pedigree with baseball, that there's always something to learn about this sport? Where do you feel right now that you're channeling your energy and what you want to know more about or what you can learn more about when it comes to baseball?
The biggest thing is that I don't think that anybody really knows the full ins and outs of baseball, and there's always more to learn. So, just watching the game and being a part of it, learning every day is something that I do really cherish. Love watching college baseball. It's my favorite sport to watch, and being a part of it's pretty cool. Growing up watching college baseball is always something that I really like to do. So just learning the game every day from, my coaches and even the players around me is really fun.
It sounds like you probably answered it a little bit there, but I was curious. By all accounts, you would have been a pretty high draft pick coming out of high school, and you elected to come to college, come to UCLA. Why?
Just playing college baseball, wanting to win a national championship. Before the draft, I was still kind of on the fence whether I wanted to sign or go to school. I'd always told myself that I wanted to go to college and be here. That's why I committed to UCLA. But actually, 2 weeks before the draft, me and my dad took a trip out to Omaha to watch the College World Series. Just kind of feel it out and see if this is where I really wanted to be and, get the chance to go there. I mean, it's not guaranteed that we get to go there, but, just something that I want to work for. And just spending 3-4 days out there with him and, I got to see Paul Skeens throw. I got to see Chase Dollander throw. And just kind of feeling the atmosphere of college baseball and how fun it really looks and is, just ultimately made the decision for me. I mean, there was nowhere else that I wanted to be besides there.
By the way you're playing, it seems like you guys are well on your way to getting to Omaha. Last question from me, Roch, would be, what is it like being you as a student here?
It's pretty tough managing with sports and school, but, we do have a lot of help. The academic mentors, the PLF is really helpful to us. Getting my schoolwork done is, definitely something that I do take pride in and, try and get done. But the help that they provide for us here has been really helpful the last couple of years.
What is your role for this team off the field?
Just trying to keep everyone together. In the fall, it was a lot of team bonding. We'd have bonfires, grill nights. Just trying to get everyone connected and staying with each other on and off the field.
Who's grilling?
Blake Balls.
Oh, yeah?
Blake Balls.
He's the guy.
Nate Leibold and James Hepp have been the three grill masters for us.
What are they preparing?
A lot of burgers and hot dogs is usually what we got going on.
Good stuff.
When he doesn't have baseball going on, he's got golf going on as well. So he's multi-talented in so many different ways. Roch Cholowsky joining us on the Bruin Insider Show for Nick Koop. I'm Bryan Fenley. Roch, excited to continue to see this team grow. Obviously, Nick does a great job in calling your action. And 5 wins in a row, and it seems like the ceiling is just limitless with the way you guys are playing. Appreciate you joining us.
Thank you for having me.